Stress and resilience are hot topics these days. It seems like the world is speeding up as well as hotting up, and we're all running to keep up. Now, I hear so many people telling me that they're exhausted but are taking on more. And the main reason is that they don't want to overwhelm their teams, or because there just aren't enough people to do all the work. But this is not only at the expense of your own well-being, but also at the expense of performance. Stay with me to find out more. Now, if you don't want to miss a single tip or strategy that's going to help you become the leader that you want to be and that we all need, hit the subscribe button below and hit that bell so that you get an alert whenever I post a new video. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sonia Guevara and I'm a leadership and success coach. And I've spent the last 20 years or so working with leaders at all levels in organizations. And today I want to help you understand why, if you want better performance, you actually need to slow down and do more to take care of yourself and others in your team. Improved or high performance is something that as leaders we are always looking for. It can mean different things in different situations and it can be measured differently, but this is one of the key things we look to achieve with our teams. But sometimes I believe that we get caught up in it meaning something else, it meaning that we do more with less time, with less people and for less money. But is that really performance? And is that really possible? Something has to give, especially if what we want is higher or better performance. But we convince ourselves that there's no choice. And then the stress goes into overdrive as we get increasingly tired. Give me a yes in the comments if any of this resonates with you. Let me explain to you what happens to performance as stress increases. So here's the stress curve, okay? And this is what happens. So you've got performance on this axis and you've got the stress level here on the horizontal axis. Now, this area here, this green area here, is basically when there's not enough stress. You can call it something else if you want. You can call it pressure instead. But I know that I'm sure that you have been at a restaurant, for example, at a restaurant where usually it's absolutely buzzing and the waiters and waitresses are fantastic. You know that experience when those flapping doors where they seem to go in and out of the kitchen and you're amazed that they don't bump into each other and they recognize you, they get to you really quickly and everything seems to be coming out of the kitchen quickly and the waiters and waitresses are lovely and really attentive. And then you go back to that restaurant on another day when actually there aren't many people there. There's maybe you and 2 or 3 other tables. And suddenly you see that the waiters and waitresses are leaning against the bar chatting to each other, or that they drop things, or that you have to actually call them because they're not coming to you. Now, I've worked with some very well-known restaurant chains and the managers hate it when it's not busy, and actually the staff do too. And it's not only to do with the fact that the till isn't ringing, it's to do with the fact that there's not enough of this good stress to keep people on their toes. So for you, this might be when you're coasting a little or you're bored, and therefore things that you would have got done really quickly and really well, you suddenly don't get them done so well and start making mistakes. So this is the too little stress or underload. And then this yellow area is where we are aiming for and we want to stay, because this is the optimum stress. So we've got enough stress or pressure, enough stuff going on to keep us engaged and to keep performance really high. And that is the critical piece. However, if you get to this point here where this arrow is pointing and it says fatigue, that is when you need to really recognize that that's what you're hitting. Because if you don't, that's when it leads to exhaustion. And that's when you get into this orange area where you might be saying that your team are tired, or that they're overwhelmed, or that you are. Yeah, and it's a real balancing act. Oops, I go back there. It's a real balancing act. Yeah, you need to make sure that you stay in that yellow zone. And in order to do that, you need to recognize that you're tired and then take some steps to do something about it. Because if you don't, what happens is that you head down this curve into exhaustion, which means, as you can see, that in terms of performance starts to take a dip. So you start to get less quality, less things done, because you're tired, you're exhausted mentally and physically. And then if you don't do anything about this quickly, that's when you can hit the danger zone, and that's the red zone. And the red zone is when you are heading for burnout. Anxiety can set in, panic attacks can set in, people can get angry, people can lose control of their emotions, and at worst, you're heading for a breakdown. And performance is definitely going to suffer as a result. So in this slide, you can see under stimulation. So if there's too little stress, then boredom can set in, frustration, dissatisfaction, lack of engagement. Optimum stress, just that pressure to keep the energy going. That's when you are feeling challenged. You know, you feel that you're progressing, you feel that you're creative, that you can solve problems and get things done really quickly. Yeah, and that people are engaged and satisfied. But if it starts to head to too much stress, then that's when you're looking at overstimulation, and that's when you start to get physical problems, emotional problems, cognitive and behavioral problems, which can lead even to long-term illnesses. And I don't want to be over dramatic about this, but it can lead to death. Not just mental health issues and leading to self-harming and suicide, which unfortunately I have known of in organizations that I've worked in, but heart attacks, strokes, all sorts of things like that. But I'll leave all the physiological things to another day. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to know more about what happens to you physiologically with your hormones in your system when we get stressed, and how we manage that physiologically, and why it's really important to stay healthy and well otherwise. So there are two main messages that I want you to take away from this. One is that some stress is necessary for performance, but this is good stress, or maybe you want to call it pressure if you prefer, if that's more positive. And two, you need to recognize and accept when you are tired, and take steps to ensure that you can recover if you want to maintain performance. In recent weeks, I carried out a poll on LinkedIn asking people what it is that stops them from delegating. One of the top answers I got was, "My team is super busy, Sonia, and I don't want to overwhelm them, so I do it myself." Now, this is very noble, and it does show that you're caring for your team, but this is going to lead you to being overwhelmed. And then what happens to the team when that happens? As a leader who wants peak performance from the team, you need to be performing too. And this means that you need to stay well and do the difficult thing and push back, redefining what success actually means for you, for the team, and for the organization. Now, I know this can be really hard, and my belief is also that organizations need to do more to keep their people well. If you're interested in more tips and tools that can help you on your leadership journey, I have a great little ebook called The Roadmap to Leadership Success that you can get for just £27 and which is going to help you identify the next steps for your success as a leader in your organisation. You can find the link in the description below. And remember, if you found this valuable in any way, please like and share this video. Tell me what it is that helped you the most today. And remember to subscribe and hit that bell so that you get to know whenever I post a new video. Thanks for listening.